Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stacy Spivey with the regular crew, Eric Chilton and Lauren Coleman.
We're all here today. Welcome to all of you watching right here on WFMY News 2 or on Fire Stick, Roku, and our WFMY News 2 app for your TV, phone, or tablet.
And remember, we are streaming live on Facebook, so give us a shout in the comments section. We want to hear from you today because lots to talk about. We're going to go ahead and get into our 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, we have new details on a drowning in Stokes County. NC Wildlife says a teenage boy disappeared yesterday evening while swimming in Baloo's Lake. They say he went underwater after swimming out too far without a life jacket. His family had been out boating and was stopped along a shoreline. A search team responded and used sonar equipment to recover the victim's body. Officials say the area in which he was found is nearly 14 to 20 feet deep. Right now, Greensboro police are searching for evidence after a deadly shooting. The crime scene spans across 2 locations, the wooded area behind the Great Stops on Summit and a business parking lot on East Windover. Investigators say 25-year-old Dorian Wingate Hayes died at the Windover scene. A 60-year-old man named James Claiborne was also shot and is expected to be okay. Anyone with information on the shooting is asked to leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers.
Tonight, community members are addressing crime and development concerns in Greensboro. The group Concerned Citizens is hosting a meeting via Zoom at 7 o'clock. Neighbors are urging people to get involved and take their issues to local leadership. If you'd like to attend that meeting, just search for Concerned Citizens on WFMYnews2.com. Well, some good news today. More baby formula is heading to the U.S. The government says over the next 3 weeks, we'll get a 3rd and 4th round of shipments. The import will be enough to cover about 8.3 million bottles. President Joe Biden met with manufacturers yesterday to address this shortage. He says so far, Operation Fly Formula has filled about 3 million bottles here in the U.S.
Yeah, you can tell it's springtime and sort of getting into that summertime pattern as we see pop-up showers and thunderstorms today. Some of them could be a little bit rough. We're not expecting anything in the way of tornado weather, but you could see an isolated thunderstorm or two that might get a little tough here and there. We'll keep you posted. 89 in Greensboro right now. It's up to 91 in Asheboro, 93 for High Point. You see Statesville at 89, even Mount Airy at 82. It's a little bit warm out there, depending on where you are and who has seen the rain and who has not. So those that haven't will be in the low 90s. Those that have, we see some of those 80s out there. Tonight's low 66, maybe that isolated storm we're talking about, otherwise partly cloudy overnight. And tomorrow a little bit cooler, 81 degrees. That's more like it with just scattered clouds. Yeah, we've got a couple of watches and warnings. Earlier, we actually had more than what you're seeing now, but you see those yellow polygons there. Let's zoom into this one. This is right there at Danbury, moving toward the Madison area. There's a chance that you could see hail within that. We haven't seen that definitely yet, but the chance exists. And then the wind speeds there are up to 60 miles per hour. That is moving on to the east. So from Danbury, it'll move along 311 over toward Madison and Mayodan area in Rockingham County. So be careful of that. And to the north, we're seeing this. That's up closer to the South Boston area, just north of Danville. But some of this may affect the Danville area as well. So we'll keep you posted. None of this majorly severe, but it is something that we'll be watching over the next little bit. So 7-day forecast showing low 80s for your Friday and Saturday. We'll keep a 20% chance of a shower in on Friday afternoon. Again, not all that strong. Weekend, beautiful. Lower humidity, low 80s, partly cloudy. That is nice. Next week, a little bit of a warm up. Mid 80s as we go up on Monday, Tuesday. Slight late day pop-up shower or storm chance for Wednesday, Thursday, and high temperatures then getting close to 90. We'll hold it at 88 degrees. The normal high for this time of the year is right around 82. Yeah, the social media world buzzing about Elon Musk's recent statement. In case you haven't heard, he's telling his employees at Tesla and SpaceX and the like to stop working remotely. He wants them back in the building, or as he said, quote, "If you don't show up, we'll assume you have resigned." So I asked you your thoughts on this on Facebook. Here's what a lot of you said here. You're looking at Delan's comment here. He says it's his company, his rules. Lots of jobs out there, but Musk seems to have the touch for making money, so he'll be there even if they aren't. Lindsay says, my company gave everyone a choice. The majority wanted to stay home, so we are for good. The building is up for sale and employees wins. Everybody who's happy. Said less overhead for the company as well. Ramona said, totally agree. It's time for all of us to get back to normal. Everyone should be thankful that there were others to pick up the slack in offices that could not close. Mary Kate says it should remain optional. People are still getting COVID COVID, numbers are going back up because mandates were being dropped. And Billy says schools are open, employees need to get back to work, but that's just my 2 cents. Nicely done. Darren says he's the boss. It's way past time for America to get back to work. I would say, if I had to guess, 75% of the people on my page were saying it's time for everybody to get back into the buildings again. I don't really care whether you're in the building or not as long as the job gets done, but I do think people need to get back to work.
I feel the same way. I think in this particular situation, he is the boss, he makes the rules, so if he wants people to come back to work. But I think the pandemic has shown certain jobs and certain industries, you don't have to be in person to get it done.
No.
And if it makes people more flexible, I think they'll be more motivated and they might be more productive if they could work from home. And I think some companies might save money not having to have some huge building when people can do everything remotely.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I think that if somebody's looking at job opportunities and they're seeing one, you have to be in the office every day, all day, or there's some more flexibility of being able to work from home some, I think that there probably a lot of people are going to choose that one because they have more flexibility. Say there's a day that they don't feel that great, well, they can still work from home and not necessarily have to take a sick day.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that this could potentially hurt him. He could be losing employees, but then again, he also has so much money. I don't think anything's going to hurt him.
That's what I was about to say. I will say one thing. You know, SpaceX offers people can go to space, right? I mean, you don't have to be. I mean, they train you a little bit, but really, it's kind of like average citizen. If I can't afford that, but if I could afford that, I don't want somebody sitting at home figuring out my telemetry of my re-entry into the atmosphere. I kind of want them at work doing it. But I understand, and I agree. If you can get your job done remotely.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter where
it
it's going. There's studies that have been shown that like people are more productive when they work from home. I think it just really depends on the industry and the job.
I do too.
And I would like to do, if I could do both, I would, because I enjoy being here with you guys, and then I also enjoyed part-time here, and I'd like to do
It would
both.
be nice, like maybe we start our day off at home and then we come into the studio.
Right.
Bosses, if you're listening.
Hi, hello. All right, we're going to take a break. We might be back, or we might be in our living room. Stick around.
It's considered one of the fastest growing sports, and now there are more opportunities to play it in Greensboro. It's called pickleball. what in the world pickleball is, it's described as a mixture of ping pong, badminton, and tennis. According to a participation report from USA Pickleball, over 4.8 million Americans picked up a pickleball racket last year. The sport has grown nearly 40% over the last 2 years. Youth Development Director for Greensboro Parks and Rec, Britt Huggins, says he's seen that growth here too. So what's behind its rapid growth? Huggins says it's fairly easy and a sport that you can play at any age and for your whole life.
The rules are a little wonky at the beginning, but with the scoring and such, but once you get it down, it's a lot of fun, and I promise you, you'll get addicted to it.
Huggins says he's become a fan himself, and anytime that he goes to a court like this one here at the Smith Adult Active Center, people are asking for more courts around the community.
It's a growing sport, and it's a sport that's coming, and it's something that we're hearing, you know, we need more courts, we need more access to pickleball in the community, so we want definitely our youth to know how to play as well too.
For more information on where you can play pickleball and how to get your kids involved, just go to WFNYnews2.com. So the first time I actually ever heard about this was when I was doing my story about stay-at-home dads, and that family loves pickleball, and they're like, yeah, it's actually becoming like a very popular sport. And then I found that article that talked about how many people are doing it, and I went out this morning, and I mean, they were packed full.
So I've been hearing about this all the time. My friends do. So originally, it kind of got the reputation of being just for older generations, like senior citizens and that type of thing. Not now. So my friends that are doing this, they're in their 40s, you know, I know some 30s, and they play super competitively. One of our sales reps, Scott, plays it all the time. Chris Kelly from Rock 92 talks to me all the time about his pickleball matches. It's a real thing that people love, and so I watched some of it online to see what it was. It's not just, that is not an old person game, I'm telling you.
No.
I've never played myself, but I have seen videos and other people doing it. But it seems like it would be easier to play than tennis. I'm not that great at tennis, and the ball is so small. So I feel like since the ball is a little larger, it would be easier to hit.
And, you know, with the tennis racket, there's like that give to it or whatever.
Yeah.
This is just like the
Like
same
paddles,
kind.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go as far when you hit
And
it.
plus, you've got to be more precise because since it's a smaller court, it's easier for people to get to it. And so you've got to do it just right.
Yeah.
Did you get in there? Did you get to
try?
swing around a little bit to try it out?
No, I had a dress on, like, so
Yeah, that
I
might
was
They have
like,
the skirts
nah.
on. You can do it.
It was also very hot today, so
Yes.
I was like, I'm
Yes.
good. I'll just take video of you playing.
I still don't, nobody's has explained to me why it's called pickleball. I need to figure that one out.
Oh.
That would be interesting.
I just
to
thought
do,
about that. What
do
is
the
the
research
shape of the
on that.
racket?
Maybe the ball has something to
Maybe,
do
I
with
don't
why
know.
it's called pickle. I don't know.
I do
I
love
don't know.
pickles.
I love
So-
pickles.
All right, staying on the topic.
Stay
of-
going on tangents.
Let's stay on the topic of sports now. We talk about Coach Lamont, who's sharing a message about winning and overcoming obstacles.
We are truly more than overcomers, but we must acknowledge that we are overcomers. We must lift up those who cannot lift up themselves and love those who cannot find the strength to love themselves. It is time for community to join hands with community. It's time to forgive the wrongs done against us. America, we can be stronger than what we've ever been before. We can rise above this hatred and unite as one. We cannot solve a problem if we are the problem. In the days ahead, we will return to a sense of some sort of normality. But let us not forget those in our nation who have lost their lives and the families that are left behind. I believe our voices can become louder than any bullet. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Watching a few pop-up storms, showers across the area. It is that time of the year, isn't it? When you look at the temperature map, it's kind of funny. You can look at this and probably see who's getting some rain and who isn't. Because if you look at Greensboro and Reedsville, I mean, that's what, 20, 25-minute drive apart. 82 in Reedsville, 89, Greensboro 92 high point. So you can bet the northern counties are probably getting a few more showers than, say, everybody else. And that is the case. When we look at this, I'll step out of the way so you can get a better idea of what's going on here. I mean, this is going to stay with us tonight with an isolated storm, although late tonight, just partly cloudy, 66. Tomorrow, much cooler at 81. That's really closer to where we should be for this time of the year. A couple of thunderstorm warnings that we're seeing. One is out of the viewing area. That's over toward Hickory. But when you look at this one just to the north, that's exactly what we were just talking about, where we're seeing the rain. It cools things down, right? That's the way it works. Danbury had a couple of showers and thunderstorms. We've got lightning detected within that. There's a possibility of hail within it too, so be careful. That is moving on to the east, so Madison, Mayodan region, maybe even Reedsville will be affected with that in the next 20 minutes or so. You can see it is hit or miss across the area, kind of spotty. That's that frontal boundary that's trying to work its way through. It's going to take its time to do so, but once it moves through, we will see some cooler weather for a little bit. Notice the rain pops up right there for just a little bit on Friday. We'll keep a slight chance of a shower in. The system to the south, in case you're wondering there, that low pressure, possibility that could become a tropical system, but the good news is that cold front coming off the coast should keep that away from us as it moves on to the north and to the east, away from our coastline. So we're not really concerned about that one. Tonight, look for overnight lows at 66. There's that isolated storm chance. Winds out of the west 10 to 15. Tomorrow, 81 degrees, a little bit cooler than today, a lot cooler than where we have been, but we'll hold it in the low 80s. It's beautiful as we go into the weekend. Lower humidity, partly cloudy, decent amount of sunshine and low 80s. We'll take that. That's a beautiful Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, warm up a little bit above normal, mid 80s with a slight rain chance Tuesday afternoon. Same story Wednesday, Thursday, highs in the upper 80s.
Spring doesn't just mean more showers, it's also prime time for ticks. Ugh.
Yeah, whether they're lurking in your yards, overgrown grass and lush trees, or maybe latching onto you during a hiking trip, ticks love this time of year.
Yes, they do. So what can you do to avoid catching Lyme disease after a bite? WFNY News 2's Megan Malaris verifies a claim about the dangerous tick-borne illness.
We are crawling into tick season, and if you plan to spend any time outside, just remember these mini pests can pose mega threats to your health. Of all the common tick-borne illnesses, Lyme disease can cause some of the most painful problems, even brain damage if not treated early. There's no vaccine for Lyme, and by the time you might notice the signature bullseye rash, it's too late to prevent. So viewer Kathleen asked, is it true a single dose of the medicine Doxycycline can prevent Lyme disease? The answer is yes. Our sources are the CDC, the North Carolina Cooperative Extension, Dr. Cynthia Snyder, infectious diseases physician with Cone Health, and a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The New England Journal study concluded a single dose of doxycycline can reduce the risk of developing Lyme by up to 87% if taken promptly. The CDC agrees doxycycline is effective. It says the benefits outweigh any risks if the estimated time of tick attachment is 36 or more hours, and the medicine can start within 72 hours of tick removal. The CDC deems it safe for both adults and children in different doses, but Snyder does not routinely prescribe it for every tick bite.
It's really that recommendation is for in areas that are endemic to Lyme disease. North Carolina is not considered that part quite yet.
The CDC's most recent Lyme case map from 2019 shows 15 states plus D.C. with a high incidence of Lyme. The North Carolina Cooperative Extension says the black-legged tick, also known as the deer tick, is the most common Lyme carrier, but not the most common tick in North Carolina. That's why carefully extracting and saving the tick can determine next steps.
Put it in a jar, you can put it in a Ziploc and show it to your primary care doctor, and they can probably differentiate.
Even if it's not the deer tick, Snyder acknowledged no major risk to taking doxycycline just in case. However, she said repeated use can change the healthy bacteria in your gut. She also cautioned against taking any antibiotic unnecessarily.
I'm not a proponent of always telling people to take a dose of doxycycline for every embedded tick they have, because the chances are it's not necessarily going to be Lyme disease.
In conclusion, we verified, yes, a single dose of doxycycline can help prevent Lyme disease if taken soon after the tick bite. But a doctor might not find it necessary to prescribe unless you live in or travel to an area where Lyme is common. And with all this in mind, experts agree the best Lyme disease prevention isn't a pill. It's wearing deep, covering up, and checking both your skin and your pet's fur this summer. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
All right, I want you to check out this royal caught on camera moment here. This week, Queen Elizabeth II is celebrating her Platinum Jubilee. That's 70 years of service. That is a huge accomplishment, Her Majesty, but the week-long congratulations are a bit much for the 4-year-old Prince Louis.
Look at this. During the Trooping the Color Parade, he stole his great-grandmother's show. Look at that photo.
That's
Flashing
awesome.
funny and frustrated faces, the little prince created quite the spectacle.
The 4-year-old is the youngest child of Prince William and Kate's kids. He's also wearing a throwback version to his dad's sailor outfit from 1985. I remember that one.
Oh my gosh, he's such a cutie. Well, in honor of the Queen's Jubilee, I asked you on my Facebook page what you would do if you were a king or queen for a day. Nicholas says I'd play with those adorable corgis you always see Queen Elizabeth with. Bunty says he would help veterans, people that are hungry, bring prices down and everything, and still say I'm not the king, Jesus Christ is king. Phil would rid the world of poverty and violence and give everyone a fair chance at life. Rose says, in part, she had a lot to say, but this is part of it. She said, I would build better healthcare plans to include and provide free psychological evaluations and free treatment care for individuals who are emotionally and psychologically challenged and cannot afford to pay. And Jan would just like to have the life of her dog every day. She said, their dog's spoiled rotten. People got really political with this.
Yeah.
Did they
and very
really?
serious, and I was like, I commented back and I was like, you know, I was just thinking something like, oh, I would love to wear Chanel all day and eat macaroons and drink tea.
That's what I was thinking too. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should have changed my answer.
No, I was thinking like treat me like
yes,
royalty.
I want to wear all the fashions. I want to be waited on hand and foot. I want to feel like a queen if I'm the queen for the day.
If you're like, especially let's say you only get the one day,
Yes.
then you gotta, I would want to get in a private jet and fly somewhere and come back. I can't imagine with the royal family if they just feel like going somewhere, you just call the jet. Can you imagine just go wherever you want?
I want to go to Hawaii.
Right.
Call the jet.
And eat lunch.
Right? Right. Oh, and I want to wear my tiara while I do that too.
Yes. She's
and all
just
the jewels.
always so nicely dressed. That suit is absolutely beautiful. And she's just so graceful.
He's adorable.
He is.
They all are. Adorable,
Seriously.
the kids.
Cute kids.
What I love about the Queen is how she always dresses in those bright colors or pastels. And I was told once it's because they can always spot her in a crowd.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know if it's true.
I know.
But no one's paying attention to anybody but Prince Louis today.
Right here. That's all anybody's looking at. Yeah, I just can't. I'm fascinated with the royal stuff too. I mean, I'm not as Stacey's into it, but I love like what they wear.
Yes,
just to look
I'm
at
just
that,
looking at everything. That hat, that white suit coat, it's just beautiful.
Can you imagine walking out and everybody just starts cheering and she's like, "Hello, all. Oh, back inside. Back inside. We'll be back in a moment.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye."
Okay. Whoa, there's an echo in my ear. Yikers. Still there. Okay, thank you. All right, let me see. It's gone. Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I said, so after the segment, after the talk back with the anchors, then you're going to tell me when I'm free to go. Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay.
Hey there, good afternoon. The back 30 here for the 4 o'clock show. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Eric Chilton here with you, along with Stacey Spivey, Lauren Coleman. We're all here. Welcome to you watching right here on WFMY News 2. Don't forget Fire Stick, Roku, and our app.
And we're also on Facebook too. It's kind of quiet on that live stream. We want to hear from you.
But for now, let's go ahead and turn to our top story at 4:30. Another deadly shooting rocking the nation, this time in Oklahoma.
As the nation struggles to cope with the recent similar tragedies, police are searching for the answers in Tulsa. They say a man carrying a rifle and a handgun killed 4 people and injured others yesterday at a medical center.
4 people died and several others were injured, including a doctor. Officers say the gunman came in looking for the doctor and killed anyone who got in his way. Authorities say it began Wednesday afternoon just after 4:50 when several people called to report an active shooter at the St. Francis Medical System's Natalie building in Tulsa. Around 4 minutes later, law enforcement swarmed the facility.
Shots fired, we see blood on the ground.
Officers entered the building on the first floor and made their way to the second floor based on the information they received. As officers were calling out Tulsa police and advancing towards a suspect location, they heard a gunshot. We believe that was the final gunshot, with the suspect taking his own life.
And just after 5 p.m., police say they were directed to the building's second floor where they heard those shots.
On May 19th, Michael Lewis went into the hospital for a back surgery. The performing physician was Dr. Preston Phillips. He came in with the intent to kill Dr. Phillips and anyone who got in his way. He blamed Dr. Phillips for the ongoing pain following the surgery.
Police recovered a rifle and handgun and said both had been fired, but they could not confirm whether the shooter was targeting a specific person. One woman said she was leaving her office in the Natalie building when security told her to lock down and take cover.
Just fear with all this shooting going on. I've seen it on TV this last couple of weeks, and it's startling to just have to go through that.
Meantime, in a nearby city, police investigated an alleged bomb threat they believe was connected to the shooter, but no explosives were found after a search of the home in question.
Tonight at 7:30, President Joe Biden is holding a rare evening speech on guns. He plans to discuss recent mass shootings and push U.S. lawmakers to take further action. We'll live stream it on WFNYnews2.com and our Facebook page.
I know we don't even have to say this. We're sick of this.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, the whole country. I wonder when the rest of the world watches this, what are they thinking? You know, like I wonder if other countries look at us and say, we see more of this in the United States, why, that type of thing. I'm just tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of it happening, and I don't know what the answer is.
Exactly, and it makes you almost feel hopeless, like, is there an answer?
What
can we make some real decisions here that can help put an end to this or a curve to it or something?
Well, and it's like, are lawmakers going to even agree on anything to put forth change? And I don't even care what it is at this point. I just want something to be done.
Try
to make
something.
Yeah, put
Exactly.
humanity first instead of being so I'm
Political,
on this side, I'm on
you
that
know?
side. Do what's right for the people, because
exactly right.
it's just getting out of hand.
It really is. And honestly, so I've seen some TikToks from people from across the world talking about all of this, and they're just like, America, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
This doesn't happen here. This doesn't happen where I live. What is going on over there? Why is all of this happening? And I think just everyone's like, am I safe anywhere? Honestly?
You know what, real quick, because I know we're going over here, but I'll say this. It makes me wonder if eventually a third political party will start to gain traction. Because if we can't agree, then is the independent party or something else going to eventually start gaining some
traction? Those are my same thoughts, because I'm like, something's got to give, because whatever is happening now is just not working. It's not working.
Clearly
It's true.
not.
Well, the seemingly never-ending mass shootings, they are heartbreaking. While the pain we feel from recent shootings across the U.S. is nothing compared to that of the people directly involved, it still weighs heavy on us.
To offer some ways to deal with these emotional moments, Blanca Cobb, who has a master's degree in psychology, is now here with us live. Blanca, what's the mental impact of several mass shootings?
It's a tremendous impact on everybody. So it doesn't matter whether you live locally, wherever the mass shooting happens, or whether you're at a distance. Look, when it happens so much, it's that desensitization. It's like, oh, there's another one, and which is not the correct approach to have. Other people would get so fearful that they just want to stay home, or they want to have this protective barrier, if you will, around themselves and their family, where they won't go anywhere, or only places that they have to go to. Other people might decide to take the law in their own hands because, you know, the given right of feeling safe isn't there, and so they might want to take action to ensure their safety and those of their loved ones. And another approach is that some people will take action. They will echo your sentiments, Eric, that I heard you say, that just enough is enough, it has to stop, and what are we going to do about it?
So how do you cope with grief when you're so far away, Blanca, when you're separated like that?
That's a great question. And because we're humans and we have compassion, we relate to that pain and that fear and that hurt, even across the miles. So I say that you just have to feel it. I mean, you have to grieve. Even if you're at a distance, it doesn't matter. We're all tied through humanity and through compassion and empathy, like I said earlier. So you have to feel it. And it's those emotions that you're able to process and get off your chest, talk to somebody. And the reason that is so important is because if not, then you wallow in it and you don't want that negativity. You just don't want to ruminate on that negativity and that pain and that hurt, because even though life can be painful, it's still worth living, and we have to find ways to move forward.
So Blanca, what can you do when you feel helpless about the mass shootings?
That's a great question, Lauren. And I know so many people have that same question, and you want to take action. So whatever that is for you, and regardless of where you live, look, you can talk to your local government. You can talk to your local police department and say, hey, how are you prepared? How can we prepare ourselves as citizens? Make sure that you have a plan for you and your children. You can't control what happens in these types of random situations, but you can control how you respond. And you're going to feel more confident if you have some type of plan in place for yourself. And then also whether you can donate to the Red Cross, whether it's a monetary donation or it's blood, because in these types of situations, the Red Cross really comes through for people.
Blanca, do you think, one thing you just made me think of this, volunteering in some way where you're giving, whether like you just said with the taking time out of your schedule, is that a healing process for us, or would that work? I mean, is that something we can do that you're helping the situation a little bit and it also helps you heal?
Absolutely, it's both, Eric. One is that it is healing, and the other thing is the more people who get involved in volunteering for organizations who help mass shooting victims, then what is that saying? The government cannot ignore that. When the numbers of volunteers increase and increase, it's saying this is important. We want change. You cannot argue with facts. You cannot argue with figures. So the more people who get involved, it does send a message.
Blanca, thank you so much. Answering a lot of questions that I know a lot of people are asking right now. If you have questions, if you want to continue the conversation with Blanca, you can go to her Facebook page, which is Blanca Cobb, Body Language Expert.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, we have new details on a drowning in Stokes County. NC Wildlife says a teenage boy disappeared yesterday evening while swimming in Ballew's Lake. They say he went underwater after venturing out too far without a life jacket. A search team responded and used sonar equipment to recover the victim's body. Officials say the area in which he was found is nearly 14 to 20 feet deep. Right now, Greensboro police are searching for evidence after a deadly shooting. The crime scene spans across 2 locations, the wooded area behind the Great Stops on Summit and a business parking lot on East Windover. Investigators say 25-year-old Dorian Wingate Hayes died at the Windover scene. A 6-year-old man named James Claiborne was also shot and is expected to be okay. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. Well, there's a new Greensboro police chief in town, and her name is Teresa Biffle. Yesterday was her first day on the job after taking over the interim role. Biffle is a 27-year veteran with GPD and is temporarily holding down the fort for the former chief, Brian James.
I love new initiatives and moving things forward, forecasting out, and it's just, I can't give enough credit to Chief James and everything that was put into place to get us, a real-time crime center. We have the license plate readers now that have helped with missing person cases and a lot of crimes.
Chief Biffle plans to retire soon and says the Greensboro city manager is looking for a permanent replacement.
It seems like every day we're seeing more crimes involving teens. Advocates say stopping youth violence involves providing summer opportunities for teens in the community to stay busy and hopefully out of trouble. Youth Development Director, Greensboro Parks and Recreation, Britt Huggins, says it's one of their top priorities. He says they spend a lot of time trying to get feedback from the community to know what kids and teens are interested in doing during the summertime. That's why they're providing sports like pickleball, disc golf, traditional golf, and even field hockey. Huggins says they're hoping to give youth a chance to try something new and find a fun and safe outlet.
we're kind of back in our first summer, from COVID, in the sense of where we have a lot more offerings that we've had in the past few years. So we're really excited to kind of get things kicked off this summer.
All of the sports clinics are a one-time $25 fee, except for field hockey. That's actually free this year. And that fee includes the equipment that they'll be able to take home with them. Huggins says they also have financial aid available for anyone who needs it. There are also opportunities for teens that are into sports. There's the Teen Adventure Camp at the lakes, STEAM activities at the Claude Clue Center, and a service learning camp. And we have all the information about all of this on WFMYnews2.com.
Couple of storms across the area. You'll see this. It'll be hit or miss, not really major, not a widespread outbreak by any stretch of the imagination. But some of the heaviest stuff is now moving into the mountain communities, not really holding together all that well. So you'll see it for a little while, then it kind of breaks apart and you see some more develop. It's all with a cold front that's moving by. But look at our planning forecast. I want to get you into the night tonight. 66 will be the low, which technically we hit in the morning hours. You're looking at partly cloudy skies tomorrow. It's nice. 79 by midday, 82 for the high. And then you keep those low 80s. Remember, our normal high is in the low 80s this time of the year, but the rain chance tomorrow only at 20%. We don't think it'll be a whole lot. Here's what the radar looks like now. Actually, this changed just a moment ago, so let's go in a little bit closer here. We mentioned that some of this rain, the shower activity, is back toward the mountain communities. Now that's a severe thunderstorm warning for North Wilkesboro area, and that includes parts of Surrey, Wilkes, and Yadkin counties as well. All of this moving on to the east. So Wilkesboro, North Wilkesboro, Mount Airy, that neck of the woods, get Yadkinville as well. Get ready for maybe some heavier thunderstorms. Again, a lot of these haven't lasted very long, but we're seeing, look at the line, the string of thunderstorm warnings that go from Greenville, South Carolina, all the way up toward Galax, really, for that area. So keep an eye to the sky for that 7-day forecast. This stuff tonight is not severe, but we'll watch for it. Highs tomorrow at 82. We'll go 81 for your weekend, and Friday, that's only a 20% chance of a shower. The weekend, lower humidity, plenty of sun, and 81, then mid-80s as we head into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
During the 2022 graduation season, we're highlighting Triad seniors turning their tassels.
Today, we're shining the spotlight on a young lady at the Middle College of GTCC High Point. Well, Nydia Flores pushed through her own self-doubt and family's financial struggles to get into one of the Triad's top private universities.
The daughter of Haitian immigrants says going off to college and not having to stress about money was the dream. WFMI News 2's Tracy McCain shares how she made it a reality.
17-year-old Nydia Flores worked and went to school full-time to support her family and chase her own dreams.
I pushed myself very hard in my own situation and didn't take my situation to define who I am.
Well, Nydia knew early on that college was her best shot at a better life and future. So she worked hard, missing only a couple of days since grade school.
I went to school when I didn't want to as well. I tried to go every day.
What is your GPA?
4.5.
It's ridiculous.
I'll be graduating 4th in my class.
What? The scholarship offers and money came rolling in.
Well, in total, with all of the schools I got accepted to, and with other offers as well, I think the total comes up to be $732,000 now.
Deciding on college came down to two things.
Who's offering the most financial means, and relatively which one is closer to home.
Her choice was easy.
Elon University. I didn't think I would get into Elon. Both me and my friend applied there, and I did not think I was going to get into Elon.
The best friends both got in.
And they were both screaming.
The offer coming right on time.
I really doubted myself a lot because before those acceptance letters came a ton of rejection letters from other schools, and they were discouraging a lot at first.
I honestly can't believe that a girl who gets a 4.5 GPA, graduating 4th in her class, racks up all the scholarship money, is ever rejected.
It definitely made me feel like I wasn't doing enough, and it really doesn't matter if you have a 4.0 or a 4.5 because colleges now, they look at your application as a whole.
Nydia Flores.
All the struggles at such an early age made her stronger and ready for this moment.
I personally believe that my high school experience was very challenging. Although there were very difficult times, my experience also motivated me to remain strong and optimistic.
The first-generation college student is thankful for the journey.
And regardless of your financial situation, because just how I racked up that much scholarship money, you can too.
Class of 2022.
Welcome, sweetie. I'm so proud of you. You are amazing. You're going to do amazing things.
Graduating high school, going off to college, and not having to stress about money is the dream.
Headed to Elon. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great for Elon too.
I know.
You know?
So at the Middle College of GTCC High Point, she was able to earn an associate degree and will go to Elon with 2 years of college already under her belt.
That is amazing. She also saves money in the long run. All of that is important, but Nydia says more than anything, she wanted to make her mom proud.
I know she has.
I love those moments when you see the parents and the kid, because I've been there with Bryce and Alex, and it is a truly proud moment for parents, and just to watch them beam. You know, your kids are so excited about the next step, and I mean excited and nervous a little bit at the same time, but that's good stuff.
And it just goes to show if you work hard, it really does pay off in the end. She's able to go to school without having all this debt, so she put the work in, she deserves it.
Those scholarships, man, that adds up to a lot of.
It does.
That's important.
But she also proved, you know, having those rejections, that you can still move on, and that's real life. You know, you're going to be rejected
It's true.
in life. So, but the fact that you keep pushing forward and you find better opportunities.
And she got the school that she wanted to get into.
She won all the way around.
That's what matters, really. It's all exciting. Okay, so we want to keep the love for the 2022 grads coming along here. So text your senior shout outs to this number, 336-379-5775. Make sure you include the senior's name and the school that they're graduating from.
You can also include a picture too of the grad, just please no professional photos.
Yeah, we can't use those. We've already gotten some in. Here's a picture of 6 Glenn High School senior guys and 3 senior girls. Coach Hugh there says they endured a tragic loss the year when their teammate and their friend Ethan Creason passed away. Coach says they kept their head up and set an example for all the rest of the teams.
He also says they use their optimism to attract other kids to play sports. So let's shout out Reggie Graham, Amir Brown, Aiden Rogers, Khalil Wilkins, Sean Goldsmith, Ray Cameron, or Cameron Ray, Madison Smith, Tyrena Davis, Samantha Craddock, and of course, Ethan Creason.
Coach says this group will be truly missed. So congratulations, graduates. You did it finally.
Woohoo!
Best of luck from all of us here at WFMY News 2. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we have a couple of thunderstorms here and there out and about. It is that time of the year, isn't it, when we start to see those pop-up showers and storms. Here's the warning in the area. This would be a severe thunderstorm warning. You see this encompasses parts of Wilkes County, also little bits of Surrey and Yadkin as well. Lots of lightning in this, and it really stretches up north from, say, Ellendale, all the way up into North Wilkesboro. That's moving to the east with the entire cold front, of course. So pushing it east of Wilkesboro in the next little bit. So keep that in mind. If you have to head out anywhere, that'll be moving toward Yadkin County and Yadkinville in just a minute, and maybe near Elkin too, so be careful of that. Otherwise, clearing out for your weekend. It's beautiful, partly cloudy, lower humidity, low 80s. We're back to the mid 80s for most of next week, and every day of next week, a slight late day shower or thunderstorm chance. talking about it.
Stacey Spivey, WFMY News 2.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Lauren Coleman, WFMY News 2.
My News 2. Lauren, what do you mean? Oh, I'm sitting in the newsroom. Do you need me to move close to the studio? Okay.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thanks.
Lauren Coleman and Stacey Spivey, WFMY News 2.
Next week is a big week. Our friend and colleague Julie Luck is returning to work. She's been out for more than 4 months as she got treatment for colon cancer. Last week, doctors determined she's now in remission. It was news we all needed after a few uncertain months, hoping and praying the chemo was working. Over the weekend, a few of us spent time with her at Carolina Beach, a way to celebrate the milestone. She was in such good spirits, knowing she is moving past what has been the most difficult journey of her life. There were lots of laughs and lots of in-person catching up. Over the past 4 months, there's been a hole in the heart of the newsroom. Her desk has sat empty. The only thing changing has been the growing stack of cards you've mailed her. My cubicle is right next to hers. Every once in a while, I'll look over in it to remember what it was like to have her sit there. I'm so happy to say I won't have to imagine it for much longer. It'll be so nice to have her back, both for us, but also for her. I can't imagine what she's gone through, both physically and mentally, the last few months. But I'm thrilled we're approaching a return to normal. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
North Carolina wildlife officials say a young teen drowned while out swimming with his family in Ballew's Lake. Rescue and search teams spent hours trying to find him.
Just heartbreaking.